Right now, I want to go over these rechargeable walkie-talkies. When you get these, they come in a set, so you'll get the 2 walkie-talkies, the 2 charging bases that do have a cord, a power cord that just plugs into your standard outlet. When they are plugged into the base, you'll get a solid red light indicating that they are charging. When they have a full charge, that will go to a solid green light. To use it, you're simply just going to pull it off of the base here. It's got 2 knobs here. So the smaller knob is basically the on knob or off knob plus the volume. So when you turn it clockwise here, it turns on, it says welcome, letting you know that it's on. You keep turning it and it just continues to turn up the volume, so you can control the volume that way. To turn it off, you're just going to twist that knob all the way until you'll hear a little click, and that indicates that it is now turned off. Now, this one has 16 different channels. So a walkie-talkie is basically using radio frequencies that are pre-programmed onto these different channels. So it's 1 to 16. Now, how this works is that you could pick up other conversations on other radio frequencies. So just keep that in mind. And that's why you have different channels to pick from. So if you are picking up another conversation, just switch to another channel. I really haven't had an issue with it, but every now and then I do pick up another conversation. So we just switch to another channel. So this is the knob here. You'll just switch to the different channels. So to pair them together, they will need to be on the same channel. And I did want to show you, if you didn't notice, that that light turned green. So this one didn't have a full charge, it turned green there. So when you start, you'll want to turn them onto the same channel so that you can talk back and forth on the walkie-talkies. On the sides here, you've got a couple different buttons here. So this big black button on the side here, that's your talk button. So you will press and hold that button while you talk into the microphone, but right there. And then the speaker here is on the front side with these little grooves here. So while you press that, you talk, you say what you have to say, you let go of the button, then the other person can talk back. Here, you see that? So you see that? We were picking up another conversation there, and it does happen. So now I've switched to a different channel, switched them on number 3. I'm actually glad that we picked that up just to kind of show you what that sounds like. So here on the side, you've got the talk button that I just showed you. You've got this top button here, which is the squelch button. So it's this top orange button. When you press this, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that static sound. When you hear that static sound, that means that the line is open and there's nobody on it. So if I push and hold the talk button and then I try the squelch button, it won't do that because the line is being used. So I'll do that. And you see that? We're not getting anything. Now I got a little feedback there. When you have the walkie-talkies too close to each other, sometimes you will get a little bit of a feedback. The bottom button here, this is just a flashlight that turns on. If you press it again, then you get a flashing light. And then the third time just turns it off. Now they do come with clips that you can attach. I do not have mine attached, but then it'll have a little clip that you could then, attach the walkie-talkie to your clothes, to your belt, to your pants, to your whatever, so you don't have to hold it the whole time. And then on the side here, both of them do have this little port here with a rubber cover, and this is for an external microphone or headset. So if you do want to, you can plug in another speaker or microphone, and they have these little headsets that have both of them, and you just plug it in, and then you don't have to actually speak right into the front. You have a headset that makes it a little bit more hands-free. When you're all done, you'll just turn the knobs counterclockwise to turn them off. You'll plug them in to charge. Now it takes up to 4 hours to get a full charge on them, so that's actually pretty quick. On a full charge, they can last up to 96 hours. It really does depend on how often you use them. If you're using them often, or if you're using them pretty much all the time throughout the whole day, they'll last about 8 hours. The range, you can get up to 3 miles. However, it really kind of depends on the conditions. So if you're outside where there's a clear line of sight, you can get up to 3 miles. If you're indoors, it really just depends on the building. So our house is about 2,800 square feet, and I talk to my family throughout the house. If I'm upstairs and they're in the basement, we don't have any issues hearing each other. It works fine in the house. But if you were in a steel or a concrete building, that could affect things. However, I haven't had any issues here using them in the house. And then my daughter can be out in the front yard or backyard or kind of around the neighborhood a little bit, and we can still hear each other just fine. So they work well. We haven't had any issues with them. They're a lot of fun. We use them, and pretty much just kind of more recreationally, we kind of play around with them and stuff, but they are good to have. Hopefully that was helpful.